Who is Kemi Badenoch, the new leader of the Conservative Party? She's a rising star who's gained a reputation for challenging the norms of British politics, sparking strong reactions from her supporters and critics alike. Today, we'll explore her journey to power, what she stands for, and what this could mean for the future of the UK. Kemi Badenoch's story begins in Wimbledon, where she was born. But at an early age, she moved to Nigeria, where she spent most of her childhood before returning to the UK as a teenager. She eventually trained as a computer systems engineer, giving her a tech and business-focused background that's a bit different from the typical politician's path. Badenoch joined the Conservative Party in 2005, and from the start, her perspectives marked her as a voice apart from the establishment. After a few early setbacks, including an unsuccessful run for Parliament in 2010 and the London Assembly in 2012, she finally made it onto the London Assembly in 2015. Then, in 2017, she won a seat in Parliament representing Saffron Walden in Essex, a stronghold of Conservative support. Badenoch made waves right from the start, becoming a vocal supporter of Brexit and a defender of conservative ideals rooted in individual responsibility and limited government. Badenoch's political style is direct, even blunt, and she's known for tackling controversial issues head-on. From questioning whether institutional racism is a widespread problem in the UK to challenging progressive policies on gender identity, she's staked her career on addressing what some see as the core cultural and social divides of modern Britain. To some, she's a culture warrior, but Badenoch has pushed back on this label, claiming her positions simply reflect her commitment to conservative principles. In 2019, Boris Johnson gave her a junior ministerial role, and it wasn't long before she made headlines. She didn't shy away from challenging policies on issues like equalities, identity, and gender. As a self-described gender-critical feminist, Badenoch openly opposed self-identification for transgender people. In her role as Minister for Women and Equalities, she led the charge in blocking Scotland's Gender Recognition Reform Bill, citing her concerns over the influence of ideologues in shaping gender policies. Badenoch's stand on social issues has earned her praise from some quarters and criticism from others. She's argued that, in her experience, prejudice in the UK often comes from left-leaning individuals rather than those on the right. In interviews, she's questioned the tendency to focus on Britain's flaws, once stating, "I came to this country at 16, and now I'm standing for Prime Minister. Isn't that amazing?" For many of her supporters, Badenoch's position as a black conservative leader adds a layer of significance, particularly in a time when identity politics often dominates discourse. Her economic stance is just as bold as her social one. Badenoch argues that the Conservative Party has lost sight of its roots, becoming too focused on regulations and public spending. She's been vocal about what she sees as the dangers of constant state intervention, claiming it limits the freedom of individuals and stifles economic growth. From questioning regulations on maternity pay to her stance on gender-neutral toilets, she's positioned herself as a champion for smaller government and market-based policies. Not everyone within her own party supports her methods. Some of her colleagues have been put off by what they see as her bluntness and independence. Colleagues note that Badenoch doesn't always engage in the traditional niceties of political life, which can come across as divisive. She's known for pushing back on the political norms, and she has spoken out about her dislike for political games and hypocrisies, making her something of an outsider, even within her own ranks. Now, as the leader of the Conservative Party, Badenoch faces new challenges and new opportunities. Her critics within the party say her divisive style may alienate voters, but her supporters believe that her fierce independence and no-nonsense approach are exactly what the Conservatives need to win back trust. Her approach has also positioned her as a clear contrast to Labour leader Keir Starmer, and her sharpness is likely to bring a new level of energy to parliamentary debates. Beyond domestic issues, Badenoch's leadership comes at a critical moment on the global stage, with crises from Ukraine to mounting tensions with China. Her backers argue that her directness and long-term view make her a strong leader for handling these global challenges. Whether you view Kemi Badenoch as a fresh voice or a divisive figure, One thing is for sure, she's not afraid to challenge the status quo. With her unique background, bold policies, and willingness to defy convention, Kemi Badenoch is setting herself up to reshape not only the Conservative Party, but perhaps the entire landscape of British